in trouble early. Johnson trying to finish his fight. Oh my goodness! That's it. It is all over. Just.
Anthony "The Rumble" Johnson is a name that many MMA fans are familiar with. His career in the UFC spanned over a decade, and he's known for his knockout power and devastating striking abilities.
Interesting. His corner.
Ryder is hurt. And now he's...
In this video, we will take a look back at some of the most memorable moments in Johnson's career, from his debut in 2006 to his retirement. Let's get right into it.
Head kick. Rumble is a machine right now.
Anthony Johnson, born on March 6, 1984, was a retired American mixed martial artist who made a name for himself in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. He was a formidable fighter in the UFC welterweight and middleweight divisions, and later moved up to the light heavyweight division. Johnson was a standout athlete in high school in Dublin, Georgia, where he excelled in football and wrestling, earning all-state honors. After attending Lassen Community College in California, Johnson pursued a career in MMA and relocated to San Jose to train with the American Kickboxing Academy. His passion for mixed martial arts was evident in his incredible career, which made him a legend in the sport.
Anthony Johnson with the knockout.
Step into the ring, and let's go back in time to 2006. Picture this: a young, determined Anthony Johnson, fresh off of 3 victories in the local circuit, steps into the UFC for his debut. He faced off against Chad Reiner in the welterweight division, taking the fight on short notice. Despite the odds stacked against him, Johnson came out swinging and knocked out Reiner in a stunning 13 seconds with a heavy combination.
By knockout, Anthony "Rumble" Johnson.
But Johnson didn't stop there. He faced off against Rich Clemente, although he missed weight by 6 pounds. Nonetheless, he came out aggressive, pressing forward with his striking and even knocking Clemente down within the first minute. Clemente didn't let that get to him, however, as he retaliated with heavy leg kicks and counterpunches. He took Johnson down and secured his back, but Johnson didn't back down.
Trouble except for, big right hand by Johnson.
There's that big reach advantage again, even on the ground, Joe.
He reversed the position with a Kimura submission hold in the second round, and both fighters were able to find success on the feet. Unfortunately, Johnson's hard work came to an end when Clemente secured a rear naked choke and handed Johnson his first career loss. But, as they say, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. Johnson proved that he was a force to be reckoned with in his next fight against Tom Spear. From the first bell, Johnson dominated Spear with his striking.
You know, as you look at this fight, and another head kick, knee, and a knee. You see the Tommy is getting rocked.
He is out on his feet right now.
And within just 51 seconds, he finished the fight with a powerful right hand.
By knockout, Anthony "Rumble" Johnson.
With this win, Johnson was back in the win column and hungry for more. He faced off against Kevin Burns in July of 2008, where he found early success with his wrestling skills. But that wasn't enough for Johnson, who wanted to prove himself as a well-rounded fighter. He began landing heavy shots in the second round.
Johnson,
in the knee.
Nice knee.
This is the power of Johnson.
Kevin
trying
Burns
to tee
gotta be
away.
careful.
Flying knee.
Denying Burns any takedowns. However, Burns resorted to dirty tactics, poking Johnson in the eyes, gaining momentum. The fight ended in a TKO win for Burns, much to Johnson's dismay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You know, Mazzagatti was warning him about it, and that's exactly what he did.
But Johnson was determined to redeem himself in their rematch in December of the same year. In the rematch, Johnson took control of the fight by taking it to the ground. He landed ground and pound and avoided any more eye pokes, finishing Burns on his feet with a head kick in the third round.
Wow!
That is a neck kick extraordinaire.
Look at this head kick.
Johnson was back on top, ready for his next opponent. Next up for Johnson was Luigi Fioravanti, a fighter feeling equally as confident as Johnson. The two took their time, feeling each other out in the early rounds.
Seconds left.
He's hurt, Mike.
Fioravanti got rocked, Joe.
He's holding on to that single, though. He's got...
But Johnson's right hand connected with Fioravanti's chin, stunning him. Johnson capitalized on this and finished him off on the ground with strikes.
Declaring the winner by TKO, Anthony "Rumble" Johnson.
Johnson's next opponent was Yoshiyuki Yoshida, who proved no match for the aggressive Johnson. He missed weight by 6 pounds, but made up for it by dominating Yoshida with his striking skills, knocking him out in the first round in just 41 seconds. Johnson faced off against Josh Koscheck in his next fight. Feeling each other out and landing some strikes on the feet, Johnson landed an illegal knee on Koscheck.
Right in the eye.
Illegal, unfortunate.
Leading to a takedown and continued control by Koscheck. In the second round, Koscheck secured a rear naked choke, forcing Johnson to tap out.
Josh Koscheck.
He's going out. He taps. It is over.
But Johnson wouldn't let this loss keep him down. After suffering a knee injury and contemplating a move up to middleweight, Johnson returned after a 1.5-year layoff to face Dan Hardy in a welterweight fight. And what a comeback it was. Johnson dominated the fight.
And he's taken down.
Nice takedown by Johnson.
Slipped the punch and gets the takedown.
Knocking down Hardy early with a head kick and controlling him on the ground. Although he wasn't able to finish the fight, Johnson's momentum had definitely shifted in his favor, leading to a unanimous decision win.
For the winner by unanimous decision, Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Johnson's next fight was against Charlie Brenneman, where he showcased his striking skills once again, connecting with a head kick that forced the referee to stop the fight, albeit some called it premature.
Look at it again. That, I think, grazed him, and Brenneman's moving. He's trying to survive.
But Johnson's luck took a turn for the worse in his next matchup against Vitor Belfort at middleweight in Brazil. Despite moving up in weight class, Johnson still missed the middleweight limit by 11 pounds, leading to a disappointing loss by rear naked choke in the first round.
There you see it again. Once Vitor flattened him out and got that forearm underneath his chin.
To add insult to injury, Johnson was cut by the UFC, but he wouldn't let this defeat get the best of him. In his first fight out of the promotion against David Branch, Johnson missed weight again, this time by 8 pounds. But he didn't let this get him down. He was effective with his striking, takedowns, and ground and pound.
David Branch is going to go off the cage, and he does. Lazy front kick from Johnson, and he got caught. Branch turned.
Surviving a dangerous triangle choke at the end of the second round. Johnson won the unanimous decision, showing that he was still a force to be reckoned with. Next up, Johnson was against Steve Jones, where he made his light heavyweight debut. Despite moving up in weight, Johnson proved that he was still a force to be reckoned with, dominating Jones with his striking and grappling.
Left hand free again. Here it is, Rumble. Looking for the right elbow. Back to his feet.
In the second round, Johnson took Jones down and unleashed a barrage of ground and pound, showing that his power and strength could work just as well in a higher weight class.
Due to the ref stopping the fight due to strikes. Out of the red corner, Anthony Rumble.
Another noteworthy fight in Johnson's career was against Jake Rossholt, where he finished his opponent with a barrage of punches and a devastating head kick in the second round. The fight showcased Johnson's technical abilities and his knockout power.
No shame to a loss to Rumble Johnson, who's on a streak.
Further cementing his status as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. After signing with the newly formed MMA promotion, World Series of Fighting, Johnson faced DJ Linderman in a thrilling match that had a bit of controversy. Despite being poked in the eye, Johnson continued to dominate the fight with his striking and grappling.
He grabbed the arm already, his wrist to pull that away.
This is dangerous for Linderman.
Eventually knocking out Linderman with a powerful right hand.
Shot in the eye. Oh! Dropped him! Oh, man! That is it!
The fight was a testament to Johnson's toughness and his ability to overcome adversity in the ring. Johnson faced off against Mike Kyle in a bout that lasted only 2 minutes. Johnson knocked out Kyle with a counter right, once again demonstrating his knockout power and technical skill in the ring.
And now Kyle tries to match. He's knocked down. He's out. It's over. It's over. Johnson gets the right.
After leaving the UFC, Johnson went on a 6-fight winning streak that left the organization impressed. They signed him back for a 4-fight deal, and his first fight back was against Phil Davis. Davis was a favorite in the fight, known for his dominant wrestling, but Johnson was able to hold his own and even connect with heavy shots. It was an exciting fight that went the distance. with Johnson ultimately earning a unanimous decision victory.
Unanimous decision, Anthony Rumble.
This win made him an instant top contender in the light heavyweight division. Next up was a showdown against former Pride heavyweight and UFC interim heavyweight champion, Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. The fight didn't last long, as Johnson knocked out Nogueira with a flurry of punches in just 44 seconds.
Oh my goodness! That's it! It is all over! Just like...
It was an impressive win that solidified Johnson's status as a top fighter in the UFC. But Johnson's toughest challenge was yet to come. He faced Alexander Gustafsson, who was viewed as one of the best light heavyweights in the world. Many thought Gustafsson would easily defeat Johnson, but Rumble had other plans. He rocked Gustafsson early on and kept him in trouble throughout the fight.
Nice uppercut by Gustafsson. Gustafsson still dang, be careful, and he went high with the kick.
In the end, Johnson finished Gustafsson off with a flurry of strikes on the floor.
Can fight back, Mike. I think he's out of it.
Big shots
Rumble
by Anthony
teeing off.
Johnson. Finishes Alexander.
Stunning the Swedish crowd and shocking the entire MMA world. His monumental win set him up to fight the legendary John Jones. But fate had other plans in store for him. Due to a hit-and-run incident, Jones was stripped of his title, and Johnson faced off against Daniel Cormier for the vacant belt. In what was one of the most highly anticipated fights in recent memory, Anthony landed a right hand that knocked Cormier down for the first time in his career.
Rumble with big power early!
But Cormier recovered quickly and dominated Johnson with his wrestling skills.
Hand slam! Yep, quickly though.
The fight lasted for 3 grueling rounds, with Cormier securing a rear naked choke in the 3rd round that forced Anthony to tap out.
He's gonna tap.
It is all over! Daniel Cormier! It's the new UFC!
But Johnson was not one to give up easily. He came back stronger than ever and proved his worth as a contender by outstriking and out-wrestling Jimmy Manua before knocking him out with a massive right hand.
Oh, he's out. He's gonna finish it right here. It is all over. Anthony.
His next fight against Ryan Bader was even more impressive, with Johnson defending a Kimura attempt before unleashing a barrage of heavy ground and pound that finished the fight in just 86 seconds.
Quickly, Bader in big trouble. Trying to intelligently. No, he can't.
However, it was Johnson's fight against Glover Teixeira that truly showcased his immense power. He connected with an uppercut just 13 seconds into the fight, knocking Glover out cold before adding a few more ground strikes to seal the deal.
Hey, interesting.
Just like that.
Good Lord. Wow.
It was a dominant performance that cemented Johnson's status as the #1 contender in the light heavyweight division. But when Johnson faced Cormier for the 2nd time at UFC 210, he made a surprising decision. Instead of relying on his striking abilities, he tried to out-wrestle Cormier, a former Olympic wrestler. Although he managed to score a few takedowns, it was wasted energy that could have been used to pick Cormier apart with his striking. Ultimately, Cormier seized his opportunity to take Johnson down and secure a rear naked choke just 90 seconds into the 2nd round.
Towards DC. Now Cormier trying to sink it, a choke, bails on it.
After this loss, Johnson announced his retirement from MMA to pursue other opportunities. However, in 2021, he returned to the cage to face Jose Augusto Azevedo Barros at Bellator 258, in what would be one of his last fights. Johnson and Augusto's fight showcased an intense battle between power and skill. In the 1st round, Johnson's powerful leg kicks and quick evasion were impressive, but Augusto managed to injure his own hand while landing a right cross. Johnson took advantage and landed a hard overhand right, but Augusto fought back with a desperate punch that nearly knocked Johnson out. The 2nd round saw both fighters throwing heavy punches in a wild slugfest. Augusto had success with his jabs and hooks, but Johnson landed a brutal 1-2 combo that knocked Augusto out cold. It was a thrilling finish to a remarkable fight, showcasing Johnson's incredible power and Augusto's tenacity. Unfortunately, Johnson's illness forced him to withdraw from the tournament, but his legacy in MMA will always be remembered, and his fights will continue to inspire new generations of fighters. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more MMA content.
And now Kyle tries
There
to
he goes, knocked down, he's out, it's over. It's over. over. Johnson gets the right.